What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood GM, your host, Coach He, and welcome back to Legends of Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video like I do on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I took last week off. Went on a family trip. We went to Mexico, and we had a really good time, and we ate some really good food. All of it was perfectly seasoned. So after my quick break, I thought it would only be right to come back with a solo playthrough. And today is one of my favorite games, Five Parsecs From Home, a sci-fi solo war adventuring game. It has things inside of it to help turn it into a more narrative play as well. I typically create characters specifically for my YouTube video solo play, but tonight I'm just going to fill you guys in on my journey. I'm currently on campaign 6 of Five Parsecs From Home, so I'll introduce you to my crew if you're not familiar with them. If you'd like to further support the channel, hop on over to Patreon and subscribe to Legends and Dice Cafe. If you are interested in joining a game with me, all of my games are on startplayinggames.com, and I plan on running one free one-shot every single month. Just an opportunity for us to get together, connect, and to just have some fun with probably people that you've never played with before. So good experience, new experience. And this month is going to be Shadow Dark. I'm gonna have more. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to run next month, but I do have a poll on the YouTube channel as well as on Discord for you guys to help me out to pick something that I'm going to run for next month. Last month was Dragonbane. I love Dragonbane. I was honestly considering running 5 Parsecs From Home for a one-shot. So if you have any ideas on games that you've already seen me review and games that you've already seen me play, definitely drop it in the comment as far as the next system to run for a one-shot. And I'll put all the links inside of the description, including the link to my very tiny Discord community. Everybody in there at the moment is super chill. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into some solo play of one of my favorite games, 5 Parsecs From Home. Let's get it. Alright, so let's get into it. I was just finishing up awarding my experience points, and that's what you do after you have your tabletop battle. So this is played in something called campaign turns, which you do certain steps and it runs you through or walks you through each individual step that you go through. After your tabletop battle, then you do your post-battle activities, and that's what I was wrapping up, and I ended up spilling something on my character sheet. I'm hoping that it dries out pretty good. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I can always transfer it onto something else, but it does show a little bit of wear and tear. So I'm currently going into campaign 6, so I'm going to change that in a second. I really do enjoy 5 Parsecs From Home. I also, let me show you something else. I also really enjoy this game as well. I'm playing this as well. I just did my first battle during my campaign turn for 5 Leagues from the Borderlands. 3 of my people have currently perished. I'm not sure. At the end, just like at the ends of 5 Parsecs From Home, you kind of roll to see, you roll to see whether or not your character actually lives after they've become a casualty from the battlefield. You get a chance to see if they actually live, if they have to spend like maybe a campaign turn in the sickbay, which one of my characters is currently doing. His name is Xanathar. He is a psionic, so he's got some cool powers, and let me show you where I got that from. So I got the psionic. This is the compendium for 5 Parsecs From Home. It's definitely not needed, but it is a really fantastic addition onto an already really cool game. It's got an adventure on here called the Bug Hunt. It shows you how to bring your characters from 5 Parsecs into the actual bug hunt. It's got some cool game options as well, changing like your difficulty, player versus player. It's got expanded co-op battles, fighting elite level enemies. It's got a lot of cool expanded ways to play, like expanded missions, expanded quest progression, expanded connections. So back to my crew. So this is Xanathar right here. He is a human psionic. And this is Kyo right here. She is a primary alien, a Ganger, engineer. And she has a tech background. She's from a tech guild, and her motivation is technology. She enjoys learning. And this guy right here is my man Goku. Goku, he's kind of a scoundrel. His motivation is survival, and he is from a low-tech colony. This is John Paul. John Paul is a bot. And then I also have Jinda right here. She is a human specialist, and her motivation is order. And then last up, this was my very first miniature that was printed. Shouts out to Kevin. This gentleman right here, his name is Yave Luffy. Now, his motivation is technology as well, and he comes from giant overcrowded dystopia. At the end, you get to do your post-battle activities, and here go your experience points you get awarded for different things. Say, for instance, if you became a casualty, you can gain a +1 experience points by becoming a casualty. You survived but did not win. Survived and won. First character to inflict a casualty. So you've got a few different things where you can earn some XP, and after you earn that XP, you get an opportunity to spend that XP. Your bots don't use this table right here. Bot characters may install upgrades to any ability score by paying credits, which is money in 5 Parsecs From Home, equal to the XP cost. Each ability score can be upgraded only once. First thing I did with my money was pay my ship off, so I do not owe anything on my ship at the moment. So you can upgrade your abilities reaction, and your reaction is what you use for your initiative during your battles. So you can pay 7 experience points, and the max that you can go is 6, so you would just up it just 1. And then your combat skill is what you add during your battles. You add to your roll when you're trying to hit someone, and then speed is of course how far you can go. Savvy is technical aptitude, wits, and a bit of charm. I didn't know how to say that in those words, so I figured the book could do it best. And then toughness is the number that someone or you have to beat in order to inflict any type of damage to your enemy. So, and then you have luck, which you can use, kind of self-explanatory luck. It's gonna benefit you, so, but we can look that up. So I've already done this part. Xanathar, my psionic, is currently in the sick bay. Where is he? Right here. Currently in the sick bay from being a casualty. First parts of your campaign turn, step 1 is travel. Now I'm going to currently stay on the planet that I am. I could not afford to leave the original planet that I had landed on, and that's also one of the papers that I have spilled some liquids on. I originally started on a planet called Azena, and I was able to afford to travel to a planet called Kante. So we're not going to travel. We're going to actually stay on Kante, this current planet. I have a patron, the last patron, the job that I did, the job that we succeeded in, even though we had a few casualties. We were to head down to some little area in some urban city and locate some briefcase. We were told not to open the briefcase, and we don't ask questions, okay? So we just make it happen, just earn a living, you know? We located the briefcase and we were able to escape. And I thought escaping after we've already accomplished our objective was probably the best thing for us to do. So that's exactly what we did. And I don't think we can definitely go back to that specific that patron, which was called Vason Corpse. Yes, we successfully accomplished our mission, so we can continue to connect with them along our journey as an option. So we're staying on the current planet, so we're not going to worry about any travel plans. And upkeep, next we're going to go to this area right here where we're going to do our world steps. Next thing we would do is we're going to do our upkeep and our ship repairs. And at the current moment, we don't have any ship repairs. We didn't lose any type of, we didn't take any hull damage, but we do have to pay our upkeep cost of 1 credit if you have 4 to 6 crew members. That's exactly how much I have. So, and first I'm going to also change that to 6, because now we're going into campaign number 6. I have yet to name this crew. At the moment, we have story points. So story points you can use for different things. So before rolling on any table outside of combat, spend 1 story point to roll twice and pick the result you prefer. An item, character, ability, or similar requires a die roll to work and fails, you may spend 1 story point to have it succeed. After all, anytime you have rolled for anything, you may spend 1 story point to roll again, but the new result must be accepted. Let's see, you may spend 1 story point to obtain 3 credits for the crew. I forgot about that one, so I think I'm gonna actually do that, adding some credits. Even though I've definitely racked up on my credits, I'm getting there, and I can do that once per campaign turn, so I think I might actually do that. And you may spend 1 story point to obtain 3 XP for any 1 character. I think I'll do that as well. This can only be used once per campaign, and you may spend 1 story point to take an additional campaign action with any crew member. This can only be used once per campaign turn. I've got 15 credits, which to me is not bad. I've got currently 1 patron on this planet where I'm at. The name of my ship is called the Rising Star, and the traits of my ship, it's like an alien strange vessel. It's got some cool graffiti around it, and it is black with a little bit of hints of kind of like a dark orange. And we've got our weapons right here, the range, how many shots, damage that you would add to the damage, and the weapons have specific traits to them that are beneficial. And then you've got an area for your gear and then your notes. Only humans can get luck points, and I think only my homie, I think one of them had luck points, Jave. I had to fix a few things, so I'm gonna do my upkeep. That's pretty much basically what my character sheet is. I do have some equipment stash inside of our actual ship. And let me see, so I'm gonna pay just 1 credit for upkeep, which is not bad at all. And the next thing would be ship debt. Well, we don't have any ship debt. That was one of the first things I focused on. And ship repairs, if your ship has sustained hull damage, which ours hasn't at all. And we are to pay for, I forgot about this, pay for medical care if you have a crew in the sick bay. You may now pay 4 credits to remove 1 campaign turn. I'm thinking about just kind of like leaving him in there. I don't know if that would be wrong or bad, but let me see. I mean, I could afford it, and he might be, I'm sure he'll be beneficial. So I'll go ahead, because he only had 1 campaign turn, so I'll go ahead and remove him now. Bring mine down to, man, sheesh, that's a pricey. I could have just left him in there 1 campaign turn, but we might need him. It's okay, and we'll earn some more funds. And one of the crew, the patron that we just went to, pays pretty decent, and I'm pretty sure the pay stays the same, and or you know how they benefit us and stuff in any way. The next thing we're gonna do is we get to assign and resolve crew tasks. So we have 1 patron at the moment. I was thinking about, so all of your characters can pick one of these tasks. 2 characters can do the same thing, but that's the max. So that's what we're gonna do. So Yave is actually one of them. I wanted to find a patron, so Yave is gonna find a patron. So to find a patron, roll 1d6 and add the number of crew members who are looking. Okay, maybe if we do 2, so remember 2 of them can do 1 task. So maybe Yave and Jinda are going to do the patron. Let's see, if the crew has an old patron among their contacts, each patron adds +1 to the roll. After rolling, you may opt to spend 2 credits. Each credit earns a +1 bonus. So if the result is 5 or higher, you found a patron to hire you for a job. So let's check that out. So let me see. Hopefully I'm reading this right. So to find a patron, roll 1d6 and add the number of crew members who are looking. So we've got 1 patron, and then we're going to add the number of crew members. So it's 2 people looking for the crew. So 2 + 3 is going to be 5. Hopefully I'm doing that right. This is my first time looking for a patron. So it's going to be 5, and we already have 1 patron. So I'm going to add +1 to that as a bonus, and that's going to be a 6. Which will, if the result is 5 or higher, you found a patron to hire you for a job. Now we're going to turn to page 83. This is how we're going to actually find who hired us, whether they're like a corporation or a local government or a local government. I like to take the time out to expand on them, who this local government is, exactly what they're asking or looking for me to. So we'll roll up one of these patrons, but we're going to do that we're going to wait until we get to this section, since we already know that we've got a patron. We'll do that when we come here. Yave and Jinda went. Hopefully, again, I did that right. Forgive me if I didn't. And the next one is going to be Goku. Goku is going to explore the town. So we're going to go to the explore section, and that's it right here. We're going to do a D100. I forgot my silencer. And we got a 42. Let's see. Someone wants a package delivered. When you travel to a new world, if this crew member is still in the crew, earn 3 credits, and roll 1d6 on a 1 to 2 you've required, arrival, and receive 1 + 1 story points. So I'm going to notate that. Next up, we've got Xanathar. Since we paid for him to get out, he can actually roll on one of these tables. So I think Xanathar is going to, explore as well. So let's see. I got 75. Promising Land. Earn 3 credits if you do an opportunity mission this campaign turn. And next up is going to be Kyo. And Kyo is going to actually, I think Kyo is going to actually train. So let's go to the train section, which is right here. So characters can improve their ability scores with experience points. This often happens as a reward in post-battle stage of the game, which we briefly went over. But characters can also train as a task, earning 1 XP. And now we've got Paul. Let's see, what's Paul gonna do? And I'm going to do trade. So I'm going to try to score some new equipment. Rolls on the trade table represent your crew bartering unspecified items you have found along the way for new interesting goods. So we're going to roll again a D100. And that's going to be an 8, I'm pretty sure. So we found something useful. Now we're going to roll once on a gear table, which is going to be on 29. Again, it's going to be a D100. That is going to be a 99. Let's see, 99. We got a tracker sight. And a tracker sight, so you get a +1 to hit if you fired at the same target during your previous round. So I'm going to currently put that in our stashed equipment. All right, so we've got a tracker sight, and I think that is it. Paul, all of my characters have done their tasks. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and determine that job, because remember we were able to find a patron during that time. On these, you're gonna actually roll a D10. So see what type of job it is. So it's local government. All right, so far we know that it's going to be a local government, and next one is going to be your danger pay. So this is paid even if the mission fails, but only if the mission is attempted. We're going to roll a D10 for danger pay. We got a 5, and it's +2 credits. Now we'll see as far as the time frame goes. This is what we do. We see right here the time frame on when this actual patron job needs to be accomplished. So we'll roll another D10 again, and it needs to be accomplished this campaign turn. So the next thing we're going to do is the patron job may offer additional benefit. This job may carry an additional hazard, or there may be conditions to account for. If you have worked for this patron before, which we haven't, the benefit, okay, so we don't have to worry about that. And now we're going to roll a D10 for our benefits, hazards, and our conditions. So we got a 5, and ours is a local. Here we go. So we would have to roll a 8+ in order for us to have some benefits. Hazards, we got hazards, so we got a 10, so we'll roll on the hazards. Wow. And then as far as conditions, no conditions. So let's check out the hazards. Let's go to the hazard table and see what exactly. There we go. We got an 8. So private transport. If you have rivals, they cannot track you this campaign turn. All right, that's not bad. That's good to know. So next up, we're going to assign equipment. And I'm going to give the tracker sight. I think I'm going to do Jinda for the tracker sight. And I don't really know what a glare sword is, but I think I'm going to go ahead and give that glare sword to Jinda as well. And let's see. Next, we're going to resolve any rumors, and we do not have any rumors at the moment. So you may find rumors as you play. If you are not currently on a quest, roll 1d6. So let's see. Now we're going to choose your battle. We already know. Now you're going to check for like rivals right here, but we already know our rival can't do anything to us during this campaign turn. So we're not going to worry about that. If you're not attacked or rivals, you may select from one of the options below, if they are available, which we've already done. We already have a mission. We already have a job, which is a patron job from a local government. Next up, and at the end of it, it also gives you a breakdown on what the campaign turn looks like. The next thing we're going to do is actually prep for our battle. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now, prep for our battle. So maybe the next time we do a 5 parsecs, maybe next week we can actually do our battle. What the heck? At the moment, we know that we have a patron job. So the first thing we're going to do is determine any type of deployment conditions. We're doing a patron job, and let's see, that's going to be a D100, and we got a 37, so no condition. All right, thank God. Notable sites. So if you're fighting an invasion, which we are not, so we're going to skip that part. So now we're going to determine the actual objective of this patron mission. So this one is opportunity mission table, quest mission. So we're going to roll right here on this one for our objectives, and we're going to do a D10 for this one. Let's see, a 9, fight off. Pretty cool. So that kind of makes sense, fighting for the local government, and we're going to be fighting off some type of enemies, and we'll figure that out along the way. Let's see, so fight off. There's no objective other than driving off the enemy. To win, you must hold the field. They do have some more expanded missions inside of the compendium, but we're going to stick with this right here. And in between now and the next video, I'll go ahead and elaborate more who this local government is and who we're actually fighting off, and I shall share that with you. So next thing we're going to do is determine the enemy. enemy. So the first thing we're going to do is roll on the enemy encounter table to see exactly who it is that we'll be fighting. Oh, I got an 82. Hey, so this is new. So I think it's pronounced roving threats. So we're going to roll on that table, and I'll show you that in one sec. Let me just make sure. Let's see, for campaign crew size, we're going to also figure out what the number of opponents we're going to fight as well. So for a campaign size of 6, roll 2d6 and pick the higher result. All right, so, and sometimes once you roll on these enemy tables, it'll have you add more enemies. So we're gonna roll. So far we've got 6. We're gonna be fighting 6. Oof, man. All right, so we're gonna be fighting 6. And next one, so to see if we fight any specialists or lieutenants, where if you encounter 1 to 2 opponents, we've got 6. So if you encounter 3 to 6, 1 specialist will be present. So far we've got 6. We rolled on the roving thread, so now we're gonna find that table and continue to keep fleshing out who it is we'll be fighting. And we got a 60. So a void rippers. So the numbers is going to be +0. So we're not going to add any more. So it's just 6. Let's see. Their speed is 5 inches. Okay. Oh man, their toughness is 5. Sheesh. And their AI is going to be R. So the AI is going to be Rampage. And we'll look up exactly what Rampage is, but I'll write that down. And so far their weapons are Fangs. So I guess I don't have to roll on the weapons category because these are their actual weapons, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, swarms of extremely aggressive fish-like flyers. Interesting. They can rip a man into shreds in moments. Gruesome. Characters rolling for post-battle injuries must apply a -5 to the roll. Sheesh. Alright, so these are going to be my weapons. The next thing we would do is go ahead and set up our battlefield. And for the most part, you can kind of set up your battlefield as you see fit, but it does let you know a few things that you should add as far as large things, small things. And for my next battle, which we'll do on here, I'm going to be using these cool pieces that Mrs. Coach got me for my birthday. So I've got a few of these, some cool walls, so it should add some good depth to everything. And I've got like a little tavern set, so I was thinking maybe we'll be venturing off. Let me see, what was our mission again? Oh, to hold the battlefield. So maybe we'll go into some sort of dungeon delve into space in order to fight off whatever is in there. So we'll definitely work on that story. If you have any suggestions, let me know. And oh, I've got some cool stuff. Well, I guess I'll show you next time, where she got me some glasses so I can start painting my items, which I will be doing very, very soon. Next thing we're going to do is just set up however we want our battlefield to look. So we've got who we're going to fight. Some type of void ripers. They're some type of fish flyers, I guess. We've got 1 specialist connected to them as well. I have to look up what the AI Rampage does. And we've already assigned our equipment. So we're kind of ready to go ahead and delve into this dungeon and hold this battlefield.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the next session of 5 Parsecs From Home, because it will definitely be a battle. All right, and as always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to turn your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I post on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you have a super fantastic rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and I hope you play something good. I hope you do something fun or sit back and relax. I hope you do something for yourself. And I'll see you guys back here same time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. And